Good morning and welcome to the Delights of Photography, where we try to help you get to really love your photography and to enjoy yourselves. Today we're going to continue talking about capturing your vision, and we're going to continue exactly where we left off last time as to talking about how you capture what you see. If you just joined us, thank you very much for joining the Delight of Photography. It's worth clicking on the subscribe link on the bottom right, where you'll get a list of all the videos that we've posted so far. And I think you'll find an awful lot that you can enjoy. It's actually, as this is a course, worth going back to the very first one if you so desire, and you can watch them. And they're planned in 10-minute episodes, which make it really easy to digest. If you've been with us for some time, as always, thank you very much for joining us, and I'll be pleased to have you along for the ride. What we're talking about is how you take your images, and you've really got the contrast between the instant snap, which is when you just arrive, take the picture and move on, and that's your picture taken for the day. Or else you can decide how you're going to enjoy your photography even more. That's when you talk about the walk around. What is the walk around? The walk around is exactly what it says. If you've got the time, you spend the time, so-called shooting the subject, when you walk and take it from all sorts of different angles, with the bridge on the right, or with the boat, or you don't like the river, so you take something with the bridge coming in from the left, different focus points, with or without people. This is the choice, and you take all these pictures, so that when you get back home, you don't say, oh, if only had done this, if only had done that. It gives you the chance to practice. Maybe you walk across the river because you enjoy the framing. Or else you get closer up, just take a full frontal, as it were. Or perhaps you decide you look for reflections and you look behind you. And maybe you get this particular picture and you like this picture. And say, oh, maybe this is the one I'd like to keep. The walk around is a fantastic way of enjoying your photography. And it also helps you choose the best viewpoint, because you can control the way the picture will look by controlling the viewpoint. Changing the viewpoint can make all the difference to a picture. It's a good habit to move around, try different viewpoints. Try a series of pictures as you were doing during the walk around, and just have a look. And because you're shooting digital, you can have a look on the camera and you can see the effect almost straight away. This is theoretical, but if you take this picture, you'll get a picture of a house with a tree sticking out of the roof. If you move over to the left, you'll get a picture of a tree with a house on the right. Or if you move to your right, you'll get a picture of a house with a tree to the left. You can move the elements around by walking around. And also remember that having a zoom lens doesn't mean that your legs no longer work. So you can decide the format. And many people don't even think of this. They automatically take everything in horizontal format. But the change in format can be fascinating. Try them both. And because you're taking pictures and you're shooting digital many times, take them both. Then at time you can have a look and see which you enjoyed the best. But the landscape format can give a more static or peaceful feel than the portrait style. You can decide. This is portrait and it's quite strong. Whereas if you decide to shoot this in landscape, it does feel, to me anyway, more peaceful. That's the picture. Vertical format just seems to work quite well. Pictures of Hobie cats on a beach. Nice picture, very colourful, but maybe vertical would work better. Try it again, or maybe horizontal but close up. All these different things that you can try. This gentleman walking through this passage, horizontal. It's getting closer, horizontal. Now, Vertical just seems to suit the picture better because of how he's standing. These are things that you decide, and this helps you enjoy your photography. And the main point of interest, you have to have a main point of interest. Not have to, but it's recommended because the pictures will have more impact. And your first step should be to say, this is very obvious, decide what that main point of interest will be, and then how do you fit all the other things around it. I take this head on this statue. It's too far away and you can't really see. You don't even notice it. You just look at the building. So you get closer. Now you can see the head in with the lady on the right is on the bench is also maybe a bit distracting. Now there's no debate that that's your main point of interest is the head. Lady is still a bit distracting maybe, so you get even really close up. And it could be that you decide this is too much, that's overpowering, so you back away a little bit. You wouldn't really be taking pictures of a head, or maybe you would, but it's just to illustrate the point. The main point of it is normally obvious, but if it's not, then you have to try and direct people towards something. And there's three methods to highlight your point of interest. You can use them together or singly, depending on what the composition is. And they're all straightforward. You can frame to eliminate distractions. Use color or tonal contrast to separate your subject, or use depth of field, as we've discussed earlier on. Fisherman. Okay. Get closer. Get even closer. And wow, this is just obviously it's a picture of a fisherman on his boat. Motorbike. The motorbike's good, the background's terrible. So you get it really close. And now you get a really strong picture of a motorbike. Beautiful coloring and reflections. Waterfall is a waterfall. But if you get up really close, then there's no debate. This is a serious waterfall. That's your call as to how you capture all these different images. Shanghai, very nice image, but close in immediately gets more impact. More impact. Think about impact when you're taking your images. And don't forget to use the cropping tool. Many people forget to crop. It's easy to use and can be very creative. Elephants having a drink. Close up is great. You can see all the water drops, etc. Just cropped. It's a fountain. Nice general picture, but if you crop it really close, the fountain looks really, really impressive. Framing it. Framing the chateau immediately directs the eye towards the chateau. Using the bridge again as a frame. Vertical seems to work for this particular picture because of the buildings, and that little top right hand curve there just seems to add something to the image. And here it's a complicated frame, but it works. And the lighting, of course, helps with Big Ben. And here again, a complicated frame, but you're framing the ship and you're just lucky because the sun comes out at that moment to highlight the ship. Frame your subject. Framing the lake at the bottom of the path. I like to put this in for discussion purposes because in theory having a sign like this is a no-no because it stops the viewer's eye going into the picture, but it makes for a good discussion point. So think about that too. Framing, just using part of the building as the frame. Using the trees as a frame. Because remember, sometimes you can take this picture, which is really, really boring. But if you look around and you see, if you just backed off just a few meters, you can get that picture with a frame. keep looking at your surroundings, because quite often you can just change the picture with just a few steps. Framing, using the bridge as a frame. And you can use color. Now this is real color. I haven't colored the boat, but it's a misty day, so the blue boat stands out. Or in this case, the red boat stands out because of color. And of course, high visibility clothing always helps. And this is obviously a bicycle. But here the combination is you using color, close-up, plus depth of field with the background dropping out, but sufficient in the background to tell you what it is. Again, depth of field. Very useful. Seagulls are great. Again, we're using depth of field. And here the mask is impressive because it's close up and you're using depth of field and you're just blown away the background. It's still, the background is there, but it doesn't distract from the picture in the slightest. And always allow space, movement or air. Give your subject space to move, because quite often people forget about that. But take this tug. Right now that picture shows the tug has got nowhere to go, so it just doesn't feel right. So maybe the tug in the middle is better, or maybe the tug just slightly to the right is even better. It's got space to move, and the eye enjoys seeing things like this. And again, depth of field drops the background away. If you look at this eagle, the eagle has nowhere to fly. So just adjusting your scene slightly, you've now got space, and the eagle immediately feels better. Immediately feel, and this is important. If you look at the swan, if the swan was facing the other way, this picture wouldn't work. But because the swan is facing out into this beautiful lake, it immediately feels good and safe and comfortable. When you take pictures of people, don't cramp them. Don't cramp. Middle is better. Just off to the left with it's perhaps even better. It just gives you more of a sense of comfort. So think about all these things as you're starting. This is not a list of rules. They are just thoughts that you should bear in mind as you're taking your photographs. And next time we're going to continue talking about more composition thoughts, how you can handle things and how you can make your viewer's eye go to where you would like the viewer's eye to go. So thank you very much for joining us. I look forward to seeing you again next time. Thank you very much.